We conducted a technology showcase at the Fleet Readiness Center in Cherry Point. One of the technology needs that was clearly identified as something that FRC East was really interested in was a need for training.
We had embarked upon this effort to reorganize, re-engineer, reschedule all the work inside the facility and lower our rates. But we had to touch the human beings who were going to do that.
It began as a collaboration between NavAir Fleet Readiness Center-East and the National Center for Manufacturing Sciences, a long-standing DoD partner whose Commercial Technologies for Maintenance Activities program has already delivered billions in readiness savings to the Department of Defense. FRC East's commanding officer, Colonel Mitchell Baumann, saw the opportunity for across-the-board improvements to safety, quality, timing, and cost. But he and his staff knew that to make it work, they were going to need a solution that was way out of the box. Traditional training wasn't going to cut it.
First thing I thought of was Pendaran Incorporated in Plymouth, Michigan, a local company.
Pendaran is an NCMS member and a leading innovator in experiential education. To say that their one-week virtual workplace simulator is a different approach to training is a bit of an understatement. In fact, take everything you know about professional education and just forget it. Pendaran's method focuses on context and cognitive flexibility, putting people into situations. It isn't about lessons, it's about direct experience with lean production, systems thinking, systems dynamics, and safety. During simulator sessions, students find themselves immersed in a highly choreographed role-playing environment. Like any production floor, it's dynamic, it's fast-paced, it's stressful, and it's driven by results. Sudden role changes, staged emergencies, and the pressure cooker atmosphere of the simulator empower students to lead and engage in solution-driven thinking.
In the simulation, your shift of 8 hours is 40 minutes. You get rushed, and a lot of people start sweating, they start getting angry, testy. And plus the instructor is driving you, why can't you fix these things? Our production is suffering and our costs are going out the roof. Meanwhile, people are getting hurt in the simulation. They put it in sick bay. And the quality defects are climbing too.
Graduates of the program have compared simulator sessions to military boot camp. Regular debriefings evaluate everyone's performance. Participants face the consequences of their decisions and begin to see how each effect impacts the larger system. During improvement planning, teams meet without guidance from instructors. By day 2, they've stopped seeing the real world. They're completely immersed in the simulated factory. The synthetic problem-solving skills developed in the Virtual Workforce Simulator go well beyond what normal training can provide. It doesn't take long for students to realize that the challenges they face in the training simulator are the same ones they face on a day-to-day basis in the real world. Which brings us back to FRC East. NCMS immediately realized that Pendaran's Virtual Workforce Simulator was the solution, but the fact is, describing the experience of Pendaran's solution is kind of a challenge.
Initially, I was a little bit hesitant because, training sometimes doesn't pan out. But I said, let's send a few people at a time. Let's get some feedback from them. And I sent some of my best guys up there. 4
people attended from FRC East, specifically from the training department, and they liked what they saw.
With the project underway, managed by NCMS, Pendaran began putting FRC East staff and leadership through the Virtual Workforce Simulator.
With the Pendaran method, the virtual workplace gave me that ability to simulate a factory environment with my artisans, my supervisors, and my managers, and bring home to them the pillars of safety, quality, schedule, and cost in that order.
And it didn't take long to see the payoff.
We had some initial results that have been very positive. We've driven down our OSHA recordable accidents from over 200 down to 62 in 2 years. We've driven down the lost workdays from 2,000 down to 700. So the results are paying off.
Given the immediate results FRC East has experienced, not to mention the ongoing improvements that are still piling up, The collaboration between NCMS, Pendaran, and the Department of Defense has been a smashing success.
It's been a win-win relationship between Pendaran, NCMS, and FRC East, and FRC East has been a huge success story.
For his part, Colonel Baumann sees the big picture outcome, and it's not just cost savings or faster turnaround. Those improvements are the genesis of something much more important, something NCMS and its CTMA program have been committed to alongside the DoD for years. A maintenance depot that does its work faster, better, safer, cheaper. What that truly means is readiness. Equipment in the hands of America's warfighters, the men and women in harm's way. The troops on the ground in hostile territory don't know what CTMA is, don't know what NCMS is, and don't care that NCMS and FRC East tried something new with Pendaran. Those troops don't care that a quirky, week-long training course can change an entire facility's best practices. They care that their stuff works, that their platforms function, that they have the tools to do the job and get home safely. To the warfighter, how that's achieved doesn't really matter. The people at FRC East, who keep American military equipment in top working order, had an opportunity to stop training and start learning. Their own results were impressive, but what it will mean to the lives of those on the front line is incalculable.